All right, let's get right into it today. I want to talk about goals. So, a lot of us have expectations of where we want to be in life, but we don't really even know where we're headed. Do you know where you're headed? Do you know what kind of goals that you have set in place? Do you know where you are today? Do you know where you want to be in 90 days? Do you know where you want to be in 1 year? Do you know where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? But realistically, because we all want to be somewhere in the middle of nowhere with a nice house, nice property, white fence, the typical American dream. Everybody wants that, but if you do want it, if that's what you want, do you know how you're going to get there? It's just not waking up every day, just going to work, living your life on a day-to-day basis, spending your money on the weekends, and that's not really how you're going to get there. So, if you want to get somewhere, it's very important that one, you know where you're going, two, you know how you're going to get there, and three, that you're capable and you properly prepare in order to get there. So imagine saying, I want to go on a road trip from here to Sacramento, California. So I don't know how to get to Sacramento. Do you know how to get to Sacramento from Eastern Pennsylvania? With no map, no nothing? You're just going to get in the car and think you're going to end up in Sacramento. It don't work like that. So first you're gonna look it up. Where is Sacramento? Because I don't even know where it is on the map. You're gonna look it up on the map. All right, here's Sacramento. Here's where I'm at. All right. Then you're gonna type into, Apple Maps, Google Maps. You're gonna say directions. So then you're gonna get directions. So you already did two things. You figured out where you're going, and you got directions to get there. Your last thing is gonna be planning the trip. So you're going to plan the trip. You're going to say, all right, it takes 40 hours to get there, whatever the hours are. And when you're going to stop here to sleep. You're going to stop here to sleep. Then you'll get to Sacramento. You might want to stop in other places on the way. Who knows what you want to do? But that's your third step. You're going to properly prepare your trip. You're not just going to go willy-nilly. So if we wouldn't just go willy-nilly to Sacramento, California, why would we just go willy-nilly through our life? That makes no sense. If you have no direction on your life, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know the direction to get there, and you don't properly prepare to get there, I can guarantee you this. You're not going to arrive. There's no way you're going to arrive to Sacramento if you just get in your car, unless you're a 40-year truck driver and you've been to Sacramento 1,000 times, and there's no way from Eastern Pennsylvania you're getting to Sacramento, California with no guidance. It's not happening. So why are we doing that with our life? We're just thinking, oh, we're going to get there when we get there, or, oh, I'm going to achieve this when I achieve this. Me personally, I said I'm going to buy a house by the time I'm 30. I bought a house by the time I was 30. I said I was going to open a business. I said I was going to do this. Whatever the case might be, is I set it. I set my target, my goal, my destination. Then I found direction on how I plan to get to the destination. And then I properly prepared. One of the first things I learned on changing my mindset was the 5 P's. Some call it the 6 P's because they add in another curse word. Whatever the case may be, proper preparation prevents poor performance. That was embedded into me from a mentor that I had, and I started living by that. If I plan to do something, I have to properly prepare. If I do not properly prepare, I have to know that I am going to perform poorly. How many of us like performing poorly? Raise your hand. You better not raise that hand. Don't nobody like performing poorly. People got too much pride, too much ego, too much self-confidence. Nobody likes performing poorly. Let's just get that out of there. Our expectation isn't to perform poorly. And when we do perform poorly, we beat ourselves up. So why do we want to knowingly go into a situation that we're going to perform poorly? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I cannot stand performing poorly. It's just not in me. And when I do, I take accountability and I say, you know what? That was your fault. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't do enough preparation. So I perform poorly. And when I do, I check myself. I hold myself accountable, as should you. Because performing poorly is not in the direction. We do not want to put in Sacramento, California, get a quarter of the way, and the engine break because we didn't change the oil. Like, come on, man. You knew you was about to drive 3,000 miles. Why didn't you change the oil before you left? Why didn't you check the fluids before you left? That's part of properly preparing. So it's very important that we know where we're going. Pick your destination. Do you want a 2-bedroom house? Do you want an apartment on a high rise? Do you want an apartment in the middle of downtown Easton? Do you want rent a full house in Wilson? Do you want to own a house in Nazareth? Do you want to move out of the state and go anywhere you want in life? Where is your destination? It's very important to identify that. You must identify that. If you don't identify it, you're never going to get there because you're just going to go through life willy-nilly. We must stop that. We must focus. We have so many distractions around us. We have so many things to idolize. We have so many people to watch on social media and say, well, they're living life, and you just satisfy wherever you're at because you're living vicariously through them. So you have to figure out the destination. That's very important first. So your destination is, my destination is 100 acres with a nice house on it, farmland, growing my own crops, having my own animals, and some other stuff that I won't share with you because I don't need you stealing my idea now. So that's my destination. But that's just my first stop. On my way to Sacramento, I'm gonna stop somewhere in Missouri. And then that's my first destination. Then I have a second destination. Then I have a third destination. Then I have my final destination. So I understand where I want to get to. There's levels. And I understand that it's going to take me some time to get there because my destination to me is grandiose. I'm working on generational wealth. I'm doing things different, but that's my life. That doesn't have to be your life. So I was just sharing with you my destination. So my first piece is, that. So what is yours? Do you know? If you don't know right now, that's no problem. Who cares? Who said, oh, you're a bad person because you don't know your destination? I'm not saying that. And nobody else is either. What I'm saying is we have to properly prepare if we don't want to perform poorly. So if you don't have a destination yet, no big deal. Take a week. 7 days. Don't take any longer than that. Don't take a month. Don't take 90 days. Don't take a year. No. Put a goal on this. Put a time frame on this so you could definitely accomplish it. Because it's important. This is your life you're playing with. You don't think your life is important? Your life is very important. You need to focus on your life and stop being distracted. So now, 7 days to figure out your destination. 7 days, think on it in your free time. Start looking up things on TikTok, on Instagram. Start getting a visual of your destination so you can understand, all right, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to go and get. Cool. So now you got a destination. So now this one you could take a little bit because this one's going to require some real deep thinking. It's going to require some inner work. It's going to require some self-talk. It might even require, asking others for help. What do you think about this? How can I get this? How can I go about this? We have to put our pride to the side because pride comes before destruction. That's biblical. And we have to put our ego to the side because your ego gets you nowhere. Like nowhere. So there's no room for that in life, in developing your new mindset. There is nothing in there that says ego can come and pride could come. It's like when you go to get on the plane, you cannot bring your suitcase, your big old suitcase on the plane. They say, I'm sorry, there is no room for that. You could bring a carry-on, but you cannot bring this big old suitcase. Because you need a big suitcase to carry your pride. You need a big suitcase to carry your ego because there's a lot of baggage in there. There's a lot of belongings in there. And that thing does not belong on the plane, and it doesn't belong in your new mindset in the journey that you're headed. You leave that stuff in the in the bottom of the plane. Put that stuff in the bottom of your life. It don't belong here anymore. That's very important, because if you think you're going to get to where you're going, it's hard enough to get there. Imagine carrying this baggage all the way. No, you can't. It's got to go. So now you eliminate all of that stuff, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get there? I got my destination. Now I need to plan my route. It's very important to plan your route specifically and to put a timeline on your route, because it's very easy to hit a detour and never end up there. Never end up there. I've met people that just missed the mark and never ended up there. They're 50, 60, 70 years old, still trying to figure out how to get back on the path. I've been in prison with many people, 80 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, still trying to figure out how they got off the path. It's hard. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but anything that is worth accomplishing is not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. And if you don't value your life, it's time to reevaluate your situation. Because there's times I didn't value my life too. And I'm sure there's times that everybody else in the world didn't value their life. And that's okay. We're not here to be perfect. If you watch the last video, it'll tell you that perfect, you can never accomplish it. But we are here to chase the carrot. So you got 30 days to figure out your destination. Be specific on the time. Be specific on the locations. Be specific on how. The how is very important. And it's very important to be followed up by the why. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this because you have kids and they deserve a better life? Are you doing this because you are miserable, you're depressed all the time, and you just need a new outlook on life, and you're just tired of where you're at in life? Trust me, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like failing. I know what it feels like trying to get there. I know what all of that feels like. Failure is very important. That's a whole nother topic. So you planning out the destination. 30 days to take you to plan it out. What kind of job are you going to have? What kind of credit do you need to have? What kind of place do you want to stay in? Where's your location? All of those type of things. This is where they come in. How much money do you need? And you need to know exactly. Because when I went to buy my house, I did not know I was going to need $11,000. Why didn't they tell us? They said 3.5%. So 3.5% of mine was like, I don't know, like $6,000. All of a sudden I needed 11. What the heck? So get in tune with people who have been through your situation before, and they can help you explain it. So now you got that all going. So you got the destination. You got the how you're going to get there. So now you have to prepare. You have to prepare for the journey. The journey's not easy. The journey's going to be mountainous. There's going to be no service on your cell phone. You might hit traffic and be in gridlock traffic. Same with life. Life is going to get bumpy. You might trip and fall. It might not go how you planned it was going to go. You might be stuck in real life traffic where you just hit a wall and you just break down for 30 days, 40 days, 50 days, and you just snap out of it. And then you're back flowing in traffic again. It's life. It's not easy, and it's okay. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay that things didn't go exactly how they planned. What's not okay is how you react to it. If life didn't go as planned and then you just react and you say, I give up, life's too hard. See, that's not okay. That is not okay. We're not here to be quitters. Ever since babies, you put something in front of the baby and the baby come and the baby going to keep trying to get it until they get it. It's born in us not to give up. God gave that to us. It's our will to keep going. You have that too. You just have to dig deep and find it. It's in there. You just have to find it. Dig through that baggage that we put under the plane. Dig through there. It's in there somewhere. So you get you get that willpower. And it's okay that things don't happen exactly the way they do. But what's not okay is giving up. That's not okay. We're not going to accept that. And you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am not accepting giving up. What are you talking about? What do I look like giving up? I set the destination. It's obviously in my heart. I want to get there. I figured out the path. I know how to get there. Now all of a sudden I put in all that work and I'm just going to give up? No, it's not like that. We're not accepting that. We don't want any parts of that at all. So you properly preparing to prevent poor performance and understand that there's going to be stuff that comes up, and that's okay. Learn how to maneuver. See, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. Life's about learning to dance in the rain. You know, that's an old joint I used to see in juvie up on the wall. Had a little poster. Learn to dance in the rain. It's okay to get wet sometimes. It's okay to get your eyes get wet and cry it out because you just can't figure it out. But if you can't figure it out, you first reach out to God. God's going to provide. He's going to provide you with the wisdom. He's going to provide you with some answers. He's going to send you some help on to help figure it out. But faith without works is dead. So if you're not putting any work, then you're not going to be able to get to where you're going, because he's just not going to bless laziness. He's not just going to bless giving up. He's not going to do that. And then you're going to be crying out to him, why God, why God? And it tells you in the Bible, faith without works is dead. And it even says in the Bible as well that God provides the food for the birds. Why would he not provide the food for us? Why would he not take care of his own people? That's a paraphrase. But what you have to understand is he provides the food for the birds of the air. But do you find the food in the nest? Does God put the food in the nest for the birds? Do they wake up and say, oh, 100 worms. Thank you. Nah. They have to get out of the nest. They have to fly down. They have to put in the work. They have to scout out the territory. They have to find the food. Then they go and work for the food. Then they bring the food back to the nest. So if that's how he's providing for the birds, that must be how he provides for us, because that's what he said. Since he does it for them, why wouldn't he do it for us? So that means he does do it for us, but we have to go out and figure it out. We have to put in the work. I'm not talking about work like hard work and slaving with your body. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about putting in the work, putting in the effort, the time, all of those things. If you're just sitting around expecting that the things are going to happen, don't think it's going to happen, because the likelihood of it happening is like zero. We have to understand that there's going to be work. We have to understand that it's not going to be easy. We have to understand that we're going to hit roadblocks. We're going to hit traffic jams. We're going to hit all types of things. And that's okay. Just make sure you respond and react accordingly. Make sure that you keep pushing forward no matter what's set in front of you. This is very important. One last analogy and then I'm out of here. Set your eye on the prize. So if you're going to the fair and your kid sees the little prize, the little one, then you got the medium prize and you got the large prize. Then over at the basketball court, you got jerseys, like NBA jerseys. You got big basketballs. You got the 6-foot stuffed animals. Those are the big prizes. Then you got the little prize. What prize do you want? And in your life, though, be realistic with yourself. Are you okay with the little prize? If that's for you, then that's for you, and that's okay. Do you want the medium prize? If that's for you, that's okay. Do you want the large prize? Do you want the 6-foot stuffed animal? Just know that each prize and each tier that you climb in life requires a different amount of work, requires a different amount of skill sets, requires a different amount of preparation. See, this little prize, you could just jump on there, hit the thing, boom, you got the little one. Win or lose, you got the little one. So that's okay if that's the prize you're looking for. But if you're looking for that 6-foot prize, if you're looking for that NBA jersey, that's gonna require work. It's gonna require some skills. It's gonna require some practice. The odds of you just going up there and hitting that 30-foot shot when the rim is like the size of a freaking peanut and the basketball's the size of a watermelon. If you think you just gonna go in there and hit that shot, the likelihood is very slim. Unless you was practicing. Some people go and drop $100 and shoot 5, 10 quick, and then on the 11th one they got it. That's how it goes. That's practice. Practice, practice, and practice. The skill set is different. So just understand what kind of life you're headed for. What kind of prize you want. And whatever prize you want, don't settle for less just because the work is too hard. Just because it might cost too much money. Just because it costs too much time. Just because you're not willing to sacrifice everything that you're willing to sacrifice. So understand that. Set your eye on the prize and go and get it, and don't let nothing stop you. I'm out of here. Hope you have a blessed day. Peace.